Hi, welcome to Breaking News. Today's big issue is America's food supply safe? While many may think that America's food supply is safe, it is actually unsafe due to the fact that the FDA has many loopholes in their regulations and they're not properly enforcing their regulations. This has caused many foods to be unsafe regardless of the fact that they are FDA approved. And for those of you who don't know, the FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. They're responsible for making sure that America's food and drug supply is safe for both consumption and use. A food company can only be approved once both the facilities in which the product are made and the product themselves are both checked multiple times. Only then will they get an FDA-approved certificate. However, still, about 3,000 people each year die from foodborne illnesses. Many of these deaths could be prevented if the FDA were to properly enforce their regulations during inspection. Also, do remember that the food and drug companies don't need to be approved by the FDA to sell their product. As I said before, one of the many problems with the FDA is that there are too many loopholes within the regulations. A school lunch company took use of these loopholes and took in moldy applesauce and reused it in a fruit cup. This only drew a strict warning from the FDA, however. They also say that it is not their worry to worry about genetically engineered foods. This is up to the biotech companies to determine the safety of them. The FDA, however, will worry about sharp objects. As long as the sharp object is greater than an inch in length, it is okay in the food product. The FDA also only checks 1% of any international product. Such as, if there are 100 apples that are being sold, the FDA will only check one of these apples to make sure it is safe. This all can aid in the fact that about 1 in 6 Americans, or 48 million people, get sick, 128,000 are hospitalized, and 3,000 die each year of foodborne illnesses.
Ooh, Dunkin' Donuts donut. Alright, so does it have GMOs? Most probably, but we don't regulate that, that's fine. And it has a sharp object. Okay, let's see. Bigger than an inch, almost a foot, allowed. And just need to put, well, this is made in China, okay. So I only have to really test 1%. Test is over. And that's clean, so I guess the whole thing is clean. Oh well, next product. Another reason why we believe that the food supply is not safe is because there have been numerous outbreaks caused by food products that could have been prevented if the FDA checked them properly. For example, this year, Wonderful pistachios that have been FDA approved were contaminated with salmonella, and that hospitalized 631 people across 26 states. And then another example, in 2013, fresh produce, such as vegetables and fruits, were contaminated with Cyclospora. And this contaminated about 400 people, sending them to hospitals. And then in 2016, which is this year, packaged salads also caused an outbreak of listeria in Michigan, causing one person to die and many others to get infected. And in 2014, cucumbers were carrying Salmonella Newport, sending about 600 to 700 people to the hospital. And in 2014, fresh salads were infected with E. coli, sending 900 people to the hospital. All of these products were recalled later by the FDA, but if they would have properly checked it, that many people would have been saved.
One of the last major problems the FDA has to deal with is a lack of funding. Majority of the funds the FDA receives do not come from the government, but from the companies they are inspecting. As the funds, however, have been decreasing, so has the amount of inspections the FDA has been conducting. They have dropped by 78%, just as the importation of foods has increased. The FDA do not only lack money, but workers. The FDA lacked properly trained and motivated workers to continue regulating the imported goods. Due to the FDA's lack of resources, inspections have gone down from 17,000 a year to 15,900 a year. A Congress proposal has been asking to supersize the FDA and increase funding. This could lead to many unsolved drug issues, such as unregulated drugs going onto the market.
I don't really feel like doing this. FDA approved. Alright, we got some Tostitos. Sharp object. Where's my tape measure? Jeff, where's my tape measure?
Budget cuts, remember?
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably safe enough. Many people today still believe that the food supply is safe, due to the fact that the FDA has increased the amount of regulations by 15%, and also the fact that some of the people who believe that the food supply is safe have never ever suffered from food poisoning. Even though the FDA has increased the amount of regulations by 15%, it doesn't matter. The FDA has approved many products that have been contaminated with diseases such as Salmonella and Cyclospora. And if many of other food products get passed by the FDA and are infected, this could be a real problem. And that's why that food supply is not safe.